bright and breezy. I'm off to the office. Pressure's on already. Pressure's on already. I've got a really important meeting this afternoon with our longest standing client, and yeah, we've worked with this company since 1999, and every year we've worked with them, and in the last, I guess, 5 or 6 years, 7 years, that's just increased, you know, to some lovely big programs, big management programs, leadership programs, and yeah, we've got a complete review meeting today, so we're kind of throwing it all up in the air and kind of want to work out how it's going to land, because you know, we've done the same program pretty well over a number of years now, and want to do a good refresh. So that's a really important meeting. I want to do a great job for them, because I love them, honestly. I love them. They are an organisation I have so much affinity with and enjoy working with so much. So you know, it's paramount for me to get, you know, to excite them with some new opportunity and some change. And on top of that, though, lunchtime Friday, I get a notification from this tender that you may remember a week ago. Last Monday by lunchtime we had to submit a tender. Friday lunchtime we get a notification from the tender saying we want these points of clarification. So that's meant I've had to work over the weekend. I've probably put, you know, maybe 4 hours in on that over the weekend, and it's not done yet. You know, I've kind of, so I'm into the office early now this morning to try and, you know, smash through that and get that back to the tender, because they've given me a deadline of 5 o'clock today for the clarifications that they've asked. I really feel the need to tidy up my desk and get some of the rubbish off it that's accumulated over the recent weeks, but I haven't got time this morning. Got to get on with it.
We now have a course live on Udemy. If you go on Udemy and you search recruitment,
okay, let's see what's going on here.
Interviewing,
Yeah.
and just scroll down a little bit, you'll find our classic green artwork here, and then we have a course on recruitment interviewing, 1.5 hours, 16 lectures, 4 downloadable resources, all for 20 quid. All for 20 quid? For 20 quid?
It's cheap.
It is cheap.
It's very cheap.
Giving it away.
Yeah.
We submitted the clarifications to the tender, and we launched courses on Udemy. What's next? Who knows? This is making us laugh. On Udemy, you can speed up the videos.
So we need to ask what areas would the applicant be competent in, and that will be driven by the job description.
You can as well. Slow it down. Here we go. Ready?
We've talked about this before. If you've done the developing others.
We're excited. We've got a new delivery of pens. These look really cool. These look like a good improvement on the last cruddy ones.
That's a good comment.
Look at this. Look at these new iManage pens.
Don't use them all up so quickly, they're precious.
Precious.
They're my precious.
One for me. Okay, so a bit of Q&A. Neil Bailey posted the question on Twitter. If I could give my younger self some advice when I started iManage, what would that advice be? So I think that advice would be quite straightforward actually. It would be to value more your network. When I began, I didn't really realise the absolute importance of getting your network working for you. And I would say in that first year, every piece of work that I had came from network connections. And some years later, actually probably about 10 years ago now, But some years later I spoke at a Chartered Institute of Purchasing Supply CIPS event about the fact that at that time we'd had about 50 odd customers, 50 odd clients, and the number that sticks in my head is that 43 of those came from the network. They were links, they were people who knew people I'd worked with in the past, people who'd been on courses and then kind of changed job or pulled in iManage for other opportunities, and it was massive. There was a period, there was 1 year where we worked with the British Institute of Facilities Managers, BIFM, and from that we had an opportunity that emerged with EMI. And from EMI, we had an opportunity emerge with MTV. From there, we had an opportunity emerge with Warner and another company called the Moving Picture Company. And you kind of have this, the network is just so vital in those things. You go from zero, one contact, into a whole bunch of opportunities because you are networked well, because you are looking after the network, because people remember you. So my advice, Neil, would be keep every business card, keep every contact, really value your contact. LinkedIn is great for that these days. LinkedIn wasn't around back then when I started, but at least I don't think it was, not in 1999. But anyway, kind of that's a great tool for keeping in contact with your world, and your network is everything when you're starting a small business. Cool. So I've just arrived at the clients for the meeting. Nice drive through the Sussex countryside. Really proud of the fact that I've been coming to this client for, I think, 17 years. They were a client of ours in our very first year. We have worked with them every year ever since. So that those first years it was like a few days a year, but such a fantastic, long-lasting relationship. Really have enjoyed working with them. And I think they've enjoyed working with us.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, I'm back from that appointment. That's great. Back in the office, and just do a couple more things here before I head off. Bit lonely here though, look. They've all cleared off. I can do whatever I want to do, I think, because there's no one else here. I'm really struggling with this because I don't make mistakes. I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun. Okay, so honestly, yeah, I do make mistakes. But this is a hard question. So Neil Bailey has asked me another question. What's the best business... I don't make mistakes. What's the best business mistake you've made in terms from what you've learned from it? So, best business mistake in terms of what I've learned from it. I think that's a great question because they're not really mistakes, are they? They're just lessons.
I don't make mistakes.
They're things that you did and maybe didn't go that well, so you learnt from them, and they were therefore advantageous to my development and the business's development. So really hard question. I think there are things that I wish hadn't have happened, But would I remove them as something from my past or history? No, I don't think I would, because they were great lessons. One that may spring to mind is that I was very trusting of an accountant early days, and we took their advice, as financial advice, and it turned out when I went to get a new mortgage that this guy had been struck off the chartered accountants list. And in fact, the advice that he was giving us wasn't great, and the accounting wasn't great, and that was a whole load of learning for us, because we had to kind of backtrack with the new accountant. So I think the lesson for me with that was I should have got a reference. I think accountants, if you're setting up a small business, are so critical to get right. And rather than what I did, I just went out and kind of yellow pages almost, and sort of, well, who's a local accountant? I would, next time round, always look for somebody to recommend an accountant to me. And I think that must be the same in many walks of life. So if you're talking about needing somebody to do some graphics for you, marketing or whatever, get recommendations. Find out who you know that knows somebody they think is brilliant. That would be it, Neil. That would be my advice for you. Always look for recommendations. Okay, been a good day's work. Right, it is time to go and make some food.